At the Military Strategy Teaching and Research Office of the National Security College, National Defense University, discussions like these are routine. The instructors even have a nickname for it: grinding the lessons. It's not unusual for us to work late into the night, debating a single argument or analyzing a set of data. Long hours have simply become part of the job. The office becomes our battlefield, and our manuscripts are weapons, as we refine and re-refine every detail. Everyone in this teaching and research office shares one belief: nothing is more important than the class. Their primary students are mid to senior level leaders from both the military and local government. Before any course can make it from the research office to the classroom, it must pass through 3 rounds of trial lectures, repeated revisions, and sometimes rapid, iterative updates. How much polishing does that take? I counted. Since arriving in 2019, over 7 years, I've updated this single course more than 60 times. The strategic literacy of senior commanders directly influences the future of the country and the nation. The Military Strategy Teaching and Research Office has developed a new military strategy teaching system for the new era, one that focuses on strong adversaries and integrates theory, curriculum, textbooks, and methodological platforms. Its effectiveness has been widely recognized. The Teaching Reform and Practice Project for the Military Strategy course has won both the National First Prize for Teaching Achievement and the Military First Prize for Teaching Achievement. Honestly, the most meaningful moment for a teacher isn't standing on stage receiving an award. It's the moment after each class when you see ideas taking root and beliefs sparking in different students, especially among the younger generations. In recent years, the teaching and research team has conducted in-depth studies on Xi Jinping's military strategic thought, systematically presenting its historical context, scientific structure, spiritual essence, practical requirements, and original contributions. They have produced multiple research reports, monographs, and more than 10 academic papers. The situation surrounding military struggle is evolving rapidly. The threats and challenges we face, as well as our missions and tasks, continue to expand. This compels us to innovate and break new ground in emerging theoretical areas. President Xi has emphasized the need to build a high-level teaching team, one that strengthens ideals and convictions, deepens theoretical grounding, cultivates moral character, focuses on study, and increases the training of leading talent and young backbone educators, ultimately nurturing a group of renowned teachers who understand modern warfare. For the faculty of the Military Strategy Department at the National Defense University, teaching here is no easy task. Military strategy is a highly practical discipline, and real-world practice often moves faster than theory. Especially at an institution like ours, instructors face commanders who possess both deep academic grounding and extensive field experience. How do you teach people like that? You can't rely on book study alone. You have to go to the troops and learn from the front lines. It has become routine for teachers to embed with frontline units, take part in major exercises and training activities, and then bring the latest insights back to the classroom to develop new ideas and countermeasures. Professor Xi Xiaodong recently completed a year-long assignment with the troops, and his strongest impression was summed up by an old saying: "What you learn from books is always shallow." Riding a hovercraft across the crest of a wave with your heart in your throat is an experience you can't get from a textbook. Without living through these moments, you simply can't understand what officers and soldiers truly feel. These experiences can only be gained on the front line, and they're not just technical issues, they're strategic ones. In this teaching and research office, leading experts in military science and top talent from across the armed forces have emerged one after another. Young instructors also grow quickly through year-round mentorship programs where senior teachers guide the new ones. Lieutenant Colonel He Dachwan recently won second prize in the university's teaching competition for young and middle-aged instructors. But his first lecture to a class of commanders did not go smoothly. Right after he introduced himself to students in the front row, whispered something that he still remembers clearly: A lieutenant colonel is going to teach us. Will this even work? Their skepticism made him nervous, but as the lesson progressed, he managed to deliver the class successfully. In later sessions, He even developed his own innovative teaching methods, earning praise from the students. His growth has been inseparable from the guidance of senior faculty members. As teachers, we sometimes become very attached to our own slides and lecture outlines. So when I assign him to prepare the same topic as I do, I give him all of my materials without reservation. Today, the Teaching and Research Office has built a well-structured teaching team with senior, mid-career, and young instructors supporting one another, forming a strong and sustainable talent pipeline. Military strategy serves as the overarching framework for all military work and the guiding blueprint for national defense and the development of the armed forces. As the centenary of the Army's founding approaches, the instructors feel both the weight of responsibility and the urgency of the moment. The Commander-in-Chief has repeatedly stressed at major meetings that only 1 year remains to achieve the centennial goals, and that pressure is felt by all of us. I believe this pressure also drives our military strategy team to push forward innovation in strategic theory. Whether in talent development, weapons and equipment research, or combat readiness, tackling these major challenges is our duty and mission. The Old Tibet spirit, endurance, resilience, unity, and dedication is a precious legacy forged by generations of Tibetan troops and civilians through loyalty and sacrifice, and it reflects the finest traditions of our army on the snowy plateau. As political training deepens, the troops stationed in Tibet focus on carrying forward these traditions, integrating the Old Tibet spirit into their very identity, and forging a vanguard force for a strong army in the new era. Not long ago, deputies to the National People's Congress who attended the 2 sessions were asked to share the spirit of the meetings along with their personal experiences. As a representative coming directly from the plateau front line, I felt the significance of the event and returned with a profound sense of responsibility. We must not only communicate the spirit of the meetings clearly, we must ignite it, activate it, and apply it, carrying forward our red heritage and strengthening the foundation of a powerful army. The Tibet Armed Police Corps has launched a wide range of special educational activities, including Red Micro-Party classes and battlefield storytelling sessions. Leaders at all levels go to the front line, drawing on their own experiences and the unit's history to talk about past wars, classic battles, and the spirit forged through struggle, turning the Old Tibet spirit and the 2 roads spirit into teaching materials that officers and soldiers can understand, remember, and use. In recent years, the Tibet Armed Police Corps has made the excavation of local red resources a cornerstone of its cultural development efforts, forming a research group to systematically collect and organize historical materials and build archives of texts, photos, artifacts, and videos revitalizing the Red legacy in full. We produce short videos, tell stories from our surroundings, and even create short plays. Only by truly understanding the meaning behind these stories can we convey the emotions and the spirit they carry. Today, educating troops through Red culture and integrating Red traditions into missions such as training, combat readiness, counter-terrorism, stability maintenance, and emergency rescue has become a key approach for the Tibet Armed Police Corps to deepen political strengthening and improve training. By fully tapping into the wealth of Red resources and innovating our political education methods, we aim to pass on the Red heritage from generation to generation, nurture the hearts of soldiers through military culture, transform spiritual strength into real combat capability, and guide officers and soldiers to remain loyal to the Corps and committed to building a strong army. In March, while most of the mainland is already filled with spring blossoms, the Baosharatso outpost 4,676 meters above sea level on the southern slopes of the central Himalayas remains frozen under ice and snow. Sentinel Fan Jixin enlisted in 2017, was assigned to the Tibetan border defense that same year, and was later admitted to a military academy in 2019 with outstanding results. When it came time to choose his post after graduation, he once again chose to return to the border, ranking first in his class. Under his leadership, the Baosharatso post earned the title of 5-star post from the Shigatse Military Sub-Command for 2 consecutive years and received for collective third-class merits. After spending enough time here, you realize that staying isn't just a matter of habitats, because once you leave, your heart keeps returning to the border and the outpost. As long as my body can endure it, I will stay here. I walk at the front of the patrol route and step forward first whenever there is difficulty. The officers and soldiers at the outpost see the living embodiment of the old Tibet spirit in Fan Jixin, and gradually they, too, adapt to the hardships and settle into their duty on the border with peace of mind. People visiting for the first time often praise the beauty of the snowy plateau, but only those of us who guard the border year-round understand the hardships behind that beauty. Sudden wind and snow on the patrol route like what we just experienced is completely normal for us, and we've long grown used to it. Private Zhang Taoyuan arrived at the outpost after earning his bachelor's degree in 2024, and his military journey is also a pursuit of inheriting the old Tibet spirit. My grandfather served as a driver when he aided Tibet, and he told me stories about those days ever since I was a child. Later, when I studied history in college and learned about the 18th Army's entry into Tibet, the idea of serving the motherland as a soldier in Tibet took root in my heart. In recent years, Tibet's border defense construction has undergone tremendous, transformative changes. Officers and soldiers understand clearly that whether our fine traditions endure in the new era will ultimately be judged by one standard: combat effectiveness. We must carry forward the revolutionary heroism of the 18th Army soldiers who once bowed their heads to the mountains and made way for the rivers. Now that we are better equipped, we must use our minds, study new tactics, and apply high-tech tools in real border defense practice. As political training deepens, the Shigatse military sub-district focuses on upholding fine traditions and inspiring officers and soldiers through activities such as reaffirming oaths on the front line, giving lectures at historic battle sites, and performing missions at national border gates. All our officers and soldiers firmly believe that lack of oxygen does not mean lack of spirit. Hardship does not mean fear of hardship. Altitude only strengthens our resolve. With this conviction, they fight to achieve the centennial goals of the Army's founding and strive to build a first-class border defense force.